Ah, coffee time.
Sup. My name is Ryu for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I'm trying to sound peppy when I'm in a lot of pain. So, this is coffee time. The new, improved, reinvented, went back old school, under 301 subs kind of feel to it because I just want it to be more personal than anything that I've ever really released. So, today we're talking about why budget players matter and the impact they have on the game and how long and lasting that really is. But before we go straight into the topic, which should be at like the 2 to 5 minute mark, I'm just gonna quickly go over so everyone's informed what's been going on with the council because I know things have been wacky as fuck. If you did not see the recent stock market video, Mikey pretty much said it. I had to get surgery. It was emergency status, and whew, it wasn't for just any old little thing. It was something that I hope to God no one ever has to deal with. It's something that's been pretty much either around me or I've dealt with it once before, and unfortunately, there was a tumor inside of me that had to be removed. It was the size of a golf ball. I didn't ask the doctor to look at it after he took it out, but apparently it was the size of a fucking golf ball. So I can go play 18 pucks with it, whatever. I don't play golf. I ain't old. I ain't that old. I'm 25. In all seriousness, even though I look 12, in all seriousness, I am on a lot of medicine to make sure it doesn't come back. Number one, and yes, it starts with a C, so you can put two and two together. It was in my stomach, so you can put two and two together. I'm tired of saying the word because I've been saying it past couple of hours, and just not a word I like saying or enjoying saying. So that's something that has happened. So I'm going to be on 40 pills for 6 months, and doctors every 2 weeks at the very least. So I'm not looking forward to it. I'm happy to be here though, and I just want to quickly say thank you to every single one of you who put in, get well soon. That means the world to me. I know we've never really met, and you guys just hear me and sometimes see me on the Council Network, and sometimes it could just be, alright, I'm gonna watch this video, he makes me laugh, or I like his deck profiles. And I know this is gonna be in some real deep shit in a second here when I say this, but I've never really felt like very close to anyone when it comes to doing online stuff. But you guys have made me feel so damn welcome. I'm almost tearing up, and it's like 10 in the morning. And why is it 10 in the morning? No, it's not 10 in the morning. It's 6 in the morning. In all seriousness, it is. I can't sleep. So, I sleep too much, and a lot of the times I just get very frustrated. And it's not at you guys, it's at me. But hearing those get well soons, it just showed how much you guys actually do care. And I was a little pissed at myself, not you guys. Because I wanted to do some awful fucking things, because I did not want to hear that word, but I'm okay for the most part, guys. And I just wanted to say thank you very much to my brothers from other mothers, Yugi514, Jonathan, Pokecraft. I love you for everything you've done for the channel, everything you have done for the other channels in the network. And Mikey, I already expressed to you how much I owe to you, besides WWE tickets and a luchador mask, because you are my brother from another mother. And obviously, I'm going to mention Greg for trying to cheer me up, too. I love you, bud. I'd be nowhere without my wife, so I have to say her, too. But thank you guys so much. It's been a very, very trying time. I do have one thing to ask, and I don't like axing it, but Mikey was right. If I don't axe it, things are not going to get better. The revenue has been a little bit low. I don't know if that's on YouTube's end or more people using AdBlock. I'm just going to ask you guys to pause it and just, help us out with that. I don't use it for everyday things. I don't count on it for that. I count on it for upgrading the channel. That's kind of my thing, because I'm not in the best health right now, obviously. So I could do the videos regardless. I could give two shits, regardless about it. But at the end of the day, it will further the channel, and on the 22nd of the month, you're going to hear/see a big update with the channel. So I'm very, very excited over that. Couldn't do the new computer yet, but I do have something in the works. something in the works. So magical. It's gonna be fucking amazing. Thank you, Audio Technica. I just spoiled it. Let's go into the reasons budget players. I'm actually looking at a notepad that says top 10 budget players, budget decks. Top 10 reasons. Top 10 reasons. All right. In all seriousness, let's go into today's topic. I'm gonna stutter a bit because of medicine. I'm so sorry. Let's go straight into it and talk about why budget players matter. Now, before I say another damn word, go in that comment section and you tell me why. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee first. Alright. For me, budget players allow just the player base to increase their intelligence of the game. Now, that's not a sign of disrespect. When you see a deck and the deck says, this is how you play me, it doesn't really make you think. When you see something that's outside the box that is more combo oriented, like most of these budget decks are, outside of like Fire Fist. Now I may be incorrect by saying Fire Fist because I'm not the most experienced with it, and there are combos there to be had, but they're a little more simple compared to something like Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast. So I think that's a fair argument there to say, but not to make it an argument. So it makes you think more about the depth of the game. And it makes you look at tech cards that you normally wouldn't, hence Tech Tuesday was spawned. All because of budget players. Konami looks at these budget players and goes, at least once per year, you know, around Christmas season, how do we milk the fuck out of their money? And I'm being honest, I'm not telling you not to buy their product. They say Megatins. And Megatins are great, because for like me, it's not so great. I don't really care. You know, if I want a single, I'm just going to go out and buy it. I got the money, whatevs. But for the people who don't, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm gloating when I say that either, because obviously I've fallen on hard times too. You know, for the college student, for the person who's working a minimum wage job, the person who can't afford the $400 deck or doesn't want to spend $400+ myself being that person that doesn't want to spend $400 so Konami can go and either A, reprint the crap out of it, which again I don't have a problem with because more people play it, or B, you ready for this one, or B, Konami bans the shit out of it in the first couple of weeks, you know, but that hasn't happened in a long time. Obviously I played since the dawn of the game, and during that time of the game, I've played a certain deck called Teledad, and Teledad was very, very expensive. It was after Teledad I made a conscious decision. I am not spending that much money on a game again because I barely got rid of the deck in time. I did not want to take a risk because, for me, many of you probably know I'm a father of quite a few children, so I like to be a little bit safer on that end. I do have it to obviously spend it if I so please choose to, but I'd rather put it where it basically makes my world a little bit better. Now, for some people, obviously you don't have all those priorities and you can go and spend all the money in the world. But you could still look at budget decks and go, why do these players play this right here? Is it because of the money, or is it because, and sometimes you'll find in the deck list, you'll find things that are normally not used. One of the biggest examples I can actually make from budget players, in all honesty, is a certain card coming up called Moon Mirror Shield. Now, if I fuck that name up, you'll have to forgive me because I'm on 40 different meds. So, when we look at players playing Six Samurais, they play more aggressive, or maybe they play more defensive, but there's a flexibility between the build, and this you could take to your playstyle and say, maybe I wouldn't think about it that way. And this is why they matter, because you and I, the competitive player, I'm going to refer to myself as a competitive player going back to 08, you and I, the competitive player who will spend $400, don't really care about cheaper end decks. But those cheaper end decks could be some of the most fun decks you will ever have in your life, and you're missing a great opportunity. And it's okay to play budget even if you have that expensive deck. I know that my Chaos Dragons right now would be fairly cheap to build. When I build them, they were pretty damn pricey. But you know what? At the end of the day, I can't get mad at the price drop. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm actually happy so people can actually play. Sorry about that. I just had to see what the hell was going on. Mad early and shit going on. So another deck that's coming up, well, a deck that is coming up that people should be paying attention to because it does have potential to, if not now, in the future, rise up in price is UA. And I could sit here and say today that UA is a budget deck because it is. And then tomorrow, someone could win a YCS with it, and all the cards jump up to $60. I am not hoping that happens. I am not saying that happens. I am making pure example, so no one is thinking I'm misleading them. Heraldics, Volcanics, Yosenju, Fire Fists, Heroes, Six Samurai. These are some decks that basically are some of the cheapest decks you can ever build and have fun with. Hunters, or Burn, or Exodia. If you don't have tons of money, these are pretty much your going point. If you're just returning to the game, you're not going to want to spend $400 on a deck that, A, you don't know if it's getting hit by Konami, or B, you don't know what the hell you're doing with it. And you want to have fun, and some of the more options for budget players aren't just super duper, hard to play. Ritual Beasts are great. Like, some of them are super hard to play. Sorry, fucked up there. Ritual Beasts are a great example of this. They look simple to play, but the more complex stuff, it's just like Infernities. Everyone can play it, only certain people can master level it. And that's not saying that you need to master level it, but that's just making an example that complexity level is there for you if you so damn choose it. And that's kind of scary when you think about that. And something that looks pretty easy, like Sylvans, could also be kind of hard, because when you brick hands or you don't know how to play out of things, then what are you going to do? Something like Heroes, you could stop on the meta and get creative with it, and obviously some of the hero cards have made their way into the meta, Burning Abyss with Mass Change II. And not all of these decks will ever remain cheap. And it's okay to be a budget player, because there's nothing wrong with being a budget player. And I despise people who say budget players are the scum of the earth. And I know there's been like at least probably 2 people on Reddit who have said that to me. Frustration. That was the one time I talked to people on Reddit just for shits and giggles. Now, this may not be the best coffee time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Council history. This may not be your favorite coffee time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Council history. For me, this is one of the most special coffee times, because it's coming off a very, very tough thing for me, and a time in my life that is changing me as a person yet again. So I wanted to reflect that on the community just a little bit, and be grateful if you are playing a $400 deck. Really, be grateful that you have the money to go out and do it. If not, and you got it cheaper, then I congratulate you for the time and effort you put into acquire those cards. But budget players can be just like you and me. They could be some of the most skillful, or they could be some of the worst playing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got to start somewhere. If you were just getting into this game, budget playing is pretty much the premises of how you want to play. You don't want to go out on a brand new hobby and spend $8,000 on it. I mean, come on. I know it's a hobby, but still, like, when a good example, my buddy Greg was getting into guitars. He's bigger on drums. I think he's got acoustic and he's got a electric, if he doesn't mind me sharing this info. He was getting into it, and I think it's fair enough for me to say it looks like a hobby for him. He didn't go out and buy the $2,000, $20,000 Gibson they have. He went and got a $400 Jackson. It's what he preferred. And that's why I try stressing with people. Just because everyone's playing it doesn't mean you should play it. You should give a deck a go, and if you really do like it, and if it's your style, it's in your price range, and you should go out there tomorrow and find every last piece of it until the sun goes down and you gotta go to sleep and get up and do it all over again. Then you goddamn do it, because it is so damn worth it. And that is the premises of a hobby. It's not just getting everything in one shot. It's the journey too that people seem to always forget. And you see how I'm kind of reflecting what's going on with me right now into the video? That's something I've always tried to do for the longest time, but never been able to. Congratulations for you. You win one. Now, in all seriousness, just because a deck is budget does not make it, in the budget category, does not make it a bad deck at all. Hell no. Now, some of the best things actually come from budget decks. Mind Crush being one of them out of Dark Worlds. And some of you are probably going, ugh, Dark Worlds. I'm there with you. Just a bit. Just a bit. In all seriousness, though, at one point when Lightsworn was deemed cheap because of all the reprints, zombies were starting to rise somewhere around that time, and Necrogarden was being teched in more. Lightsworn technically weren't always budget, but you guess you can make the assumption that, hey, something from a budget deck made it into a deck that was rising in time, or maybe it was just popularity, or wherever the case may be. We may see that again in the future. I think Book of Eclipse would probably be the most obvious thing, but I don't think it was even in a budget deck. Now I'm just kind of rambling. But you can learn a lot from budget players if you're not a budget player, because Konami obviously has, and this is the one time I condemned, I don't condemn Konami, I congratulate Konami, because when they designed the Megatins, they had the budget player in mind. They had the let's reprint everything and give people a chance to catch up on anything they missed out on and anything they'll need in the future, and basically you'll have a 6-month window before anything really jumps up in price super high. And that was brilliant on Konami's part last year. That I will give them credit for. That I will beyond give it credit for. Can you win a YCS with a budget deck? Hell yes! You're going to have a hard time doing so. But you know what? I've seen harder things been done. So, with a little bit of luck, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of side decking, and a little bit of just wholeheartedly fun, you could probably win a YCS. And if you're going to do it with a budget deck, you better bring some freaking snacks like power bar shit to keep your energy level high, and probably some coffee to stay focused, because those little misplays will always screw you up in the end of the day. But in all honesty, everyone should look at budget decks if you haven't, because budget decks are just the premises of creativity. And some of you are probably going, creativity is dead in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think that's true. Because if that was true, then a lot of people would have given up on building decks for the first time on Dev Pro, or should I say Salvation, when they first come out, and trying to basically be more like OCG players in the sense of trying to figure everything out before we even get to it. And you could just make the argument people are doing that because hobby, whatever. I still think creativity is alive. But that's a topic for another day, because I'm just uber tired after filming this, in all honesty. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. It may not be my best work, but it is the most personal work I will ever release on this channel. That's for damn sure. I'm probably going to catch some Z's, get up, and then edit this video, because I love you guys. And I hope you feel the same way. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not that way. Obviously not that way. But thank you guys for just always being there for me, even in the darkest hours of my life, because it's just some scary shit. But I don't know how really to express it because of everything I've been through in the past couple of years. But the only way I can is thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side, aka the next video, which will probably be tomorrow. We'll probably go back to 2 videos. I just so freaking tired. Thank you guys. I'll catch you next video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Don't dislike, because I had to use the C word. Just saying, don't. I'll catch you guys later. In all seriousness, dislike if you want. Whatever. Peace.